Don't get me wrong.
You know, this is his party. This is these voters.
Not just his party.
What?
It's not just his party now, and that's
no, it's his country.
I mean, we have to be careful. We haven't called it yet, but Pennsylvania makes it extremely tough for Kamala Harris, and that's one of the things. I mean, the Trump side.
And
they want some good news tonight. I can feel the anxiety.
Percentages reporting in North Carolina?
76%
reporting you're down by 7. You're in a world of trouble. You're like, yes, it matters which counties, but you're still in a world of trouble. And so much trouble that one of the organizations has already called it. Okay, now let's go to Georgia.
Yeah, by the way, Iowa has been called by CNN at least for Trump.
Iowa called for Trump, so there goes that nonsense. I'm getting revved up here on a significant rant. So, because Kamala Harris is not winning, and the people who thought that Kamala Harris was going to win a landslide are totally wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, pray for Cenk Uygur. He's about to explode. No wonder Anna Kasparis isn't there, because he would have definitely exploded.
He just won Pennsylvania.
Close-in suburbs, find some exceptions to this, but in the close-in suburbs, she's doing reasonably well, reasonably close, exceeding it in some places. But
who said
showing 90%?
A little bit better in some key.
He won Pennsylvania. He won. I told you. I told you.
Phenomenon in 2016 and 2020.
This is going crazy, y'all. He going crazy, crashing out. They reporting it. Who reporting it, bro? Hold on, calm down. Who reporting it? I don't see it nowhere.
He won.
You may get there, and any idea?
It's over.
I don't see it.
Bro, go to decision desk. He won.
Yeah, it's just a decision desk.
Bro, it's official. It's done. He won.
They've been watching these
he won
all night as John King has been going back and forth on the magic wall, but they themselves obviously were waiting to see, were there any surprises in store? They were watching closely the gut check of North Carolina and Georgia. Obviously,
seeing black people as happy as them, just like me, oh man, that makes me so happy. All I want is this, that Trump chooses better people, and he did, compared to the last time.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president.
And somebody actually posted, "We did it, Peanut!" But remember, don't forget about Fred. And what I find interesting is how they wanted to convince people that a bunch of Republican, conservative or whatever is actually like voting for the other side. The obfuscation was real.
And then you have people that don't want to see the chaos in their businesses. They don't want to see this $4,000 tax per family. They're worried about some of his economic proposals. And they mostly don't want chaos with their employees and everything else. I just think there is this thing boiling under the surface because people are coming up to me all the time in diners and airports and saying, I'm a conservative, I can't vote for him. That's what you're going to see show up.
And that is what you saw. People that told you that so you can leave them alone, so they can vote.
They're saying are accurate, and she would need to outperform, really turn things around, and what's coming in is not showing that that is likely or possible.
And all I got from that is them playing at Harris' campaign Diddy music.
Interesting. In Texas, it's the big whale. I don't know what to call it. It's the one Democrats have wanted for a long time, but it still keeps moving each cycle.
It's also a very voter suppressed state, and the focus of voter suppression coming from that state capital is Harris County, where Houston is, and they are relentless in it. And that is also the largest single physical number of black voters in any county other than Cook County in Illinois. That's the largest number of black voters available, and they are deeply suppressed in terms of their ability and access to the ballot. So Democrats would have to do a lot of work there in terms of voter suppression and also voter motivation.
Yes, black people are suppressed, just like I had to suppress the sun so I don't look too white. Then again, all you had to do is find their girlfriend and tell them to vote for Kamala Harris.
Just voted.
I did.
And who did you vote for?
For Harris.
And tell me about how you came to this decision.
So I wasn't going to vote at all until my girlfriend was blowing up my phone telling me to go vote. And if I didn't, she was going to break up with me. So now I'm here.
Simple. Just threaten men with sex and they will vote for you.
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
Jake Tapper is absolutely shocked by the map showing that Kamala didn't outperform Biden in a single county. She's a total loser. Possible.
And
Anderson, it is hard to think of a political comeback that is actually more significant than this one. I'm tempted to say Richard Nixon, but that really falls short of what Donald Trump has achieved.
Yeah, I mean, winning not just the electoral votes, but the popular vote as well.
Jake Tapper and Anderson Cooper admit that this is the greatest comeback in history. Very simple. You guys went so hard after him. You made him famous because you obfuscated people when you were silent. But when you spoke too much, they saw inconsistency and they were like, yo, this makes no sense. We're not that stupid.
Stupid. Oh, just shut the fuck up for good now, huh? Yeah, you fucking want that?
No, I want you to keep speaking so I know for who I have to vote, because sometimes you speak so badly of people and you still think you're a nice person.
You know, it's a state that I think Democrats definitely were reaching for. There was a lot of work to try to turn out the college campuses, which were really thick and really packed, and try to turn out the suburbs. And I think there was a lot of hope because of just the insanity, can we say fairly, of the person who's running for governor in that state, and the thought that, you know, defeating him would also carry Harris in. But in the end, you know, if they didn't make their numbers and essentially exceed the numbers that Joe Biden had in the suburbs, and I think we have to be blunt about why. Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. That is what it appears happened in that state, is that if you can't flip enough white women, and we've talked about this on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks.
Yep.
But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And, you know, God bless Shannon Watts, who has tried to have that conversation. But if people aren't receptive to it, and if people vote more party line or more on race than on gender and on protecting their gender, there's really not much more that you can do but tell people what the risks are and leave it to them to do the right thing.
Let me understand this correctly. Women are very important voters on your side. Why not blame them that they voted for the wrong reason? Maybe the reason that you keep mentioning that they need to be able to have access to is not as important if they have to feel safe to go and have that decision. What might it be? I hope it's not somebody that you brought in and they don't feel safe and they saw how you handle other cases. Maybe that is the reason they might have voted different. But blaming them? What's gonna happen? That's how you made Trump voters. Now you're gonna make more women vote for Trump.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
It's my first time voting.
Oh, you're a first-time voter. Who would you like to win?
Trump.
This bothers
Me, I am Puerto Rican, so that was like, I was like, wow, like I don't really like that, you know? I don't know really. I really don't know, honestly. It's
So
hard.
as a Puerto Rican, you're okay with that, though?
No, definitely not. I just think, you know, like people, like everyone has opinions. Like, you know, if they don't like Puerto Ricans, it hurts, of course. But at the end of the day, I'm okay with who I am, and at the end of the day, I want to be able to have a better life in the future.
It's not that she doesn't care about the joke, but she doesn't think that just because of a joke I need to vote for another person that seems to care about me. They just want to follow the result even if they like the person or not.
Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hard-working man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelk boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, busting with the boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
The most annoying thing about this whole situation is the fact that a lot of people on the left were saying, yo, they're not asking the tough question on this podcast. I'm like, what are you talking about? You make it seem they were doing that to Kamala Harris.
So you won't hear from the vice president tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. She will be back here tomorrow to address not only the HU family, not only to address her supporters, but to address the nation. So thank you. We believe in you. May God bless you. May God keep you. And go HU and go Harris. Thank you all.
Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally.
We still have an electorate, 70 million plus, that will be voting for a man who said he was going to assassinate for treason the chairman of the Joint Chiefs because he didn't support him on January the 6th, who has said just in recent days he was going to execute Liz Cheney with a firing squad, 9 guns pointed and shooting at her face, a man who has said that he was going to shut down CBS because he didn't like how they edited an interview, a man who said he was going to be a dictator from day one, a man who said he was going to terminate the Constitution, a man who said he was going to use the army and he was going to use the National Guard on his political opponents. I literally could go on all day, and yet you talk to Trump voters and they'll go, he didn't say that. Wait, now I didn't hear him. And then you say, well, here's the quote, and then they'll go, yeah, he didn't mean that. So there's something far more long-lasting than just Donald Trump, the candidate. There is a sort of Russian embrace of disinformation, a radical devaluing of truth over the last 9 to 10 years, and a complete ignorance on civics and what the term Madisonian democracy even means, what checks and balances even means, what judicial review even means, what the rule of law even means. How do we as a nation, even post-Trump, how do we reach those Americans who apparently didn't go to civics class, apparently didn't learn the basics of this Constitution, and have just been overwhelmed with this information over the past 9 years?
Let's see how he was talking 4 months ago.
And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it.
And I'm a Christian, and I will say, God bless you.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa dita bong. Butta fire na mi blonde, kush hash purple skunk, criollo colombici jam jam, dur loqueta, verdetta, welcome.